Hello, everybody. I wanted to pop on and talk to you about what I have been seeing in the fields time and time again over the last 2 weeks as it relates to clearing the masculine energy. And this is a clearing that I have done 2 or 3 times over the last week and a half. And so hopefully by me sharing this with you, you can maybe pick up on the codes of what I'm saying and do this with yourself if this resonates with you as a man. I did the feminine clearing and kind of a meditation for that. I don't know that I'm going to go quite do a full-blown clearing live, but I am going to share with you what I saw and how I was shown to rehabilitate this. Because I did the clearing feminine targeting and the SRA grids and all of that in a recent video. So yeah, hope you guys are doing well out there. So yeah, let's just cut right into it. What I saw is in these men who have been clearing that same kind of frequency of the SRA, the satanic ritual abuse grids, the sexual misery programming grids, the siphoning and sort of torturing of the male sexual essence. Part of that is connected to, and I just want to say thank you to Emily Joy Harris for mapping this particular piece out, for me at least, and I know for many others, is I think it's connected to Arthur's Sacral in the UK. And so at the end of January, she did a massive clearing and was working to basically clear and be a part of the team that was clearing Arthur's Sacral in the UK. And, it might be hard for us to understand, what does that mean? Well, these beings, these high-level beings, the Melchizedek order, the Knights of Arthur, the Round Table, these were incredibly high-level beings, and their energy signatures are literally implanted into the grids, and their body parts are connected to different parts of the grid, and certain body parts have been targeted. We can think about, the cosmos as different body parts to this larger body. So, it's overlaid on top of the earth grid, or it's literally woven into the earth grid as an organic structure that we're meant to connect to as a pathway to evolve and rehabilitate. So in the UK, there were basically these nests that were built in Arthur's Sacral, and a lot of this nest was connected to black magic. It was connected to the lunar consciousness, to the fallen lunar consciousness, Jezebel, succubus, sexual misery programming, and there was a lot of torture and abuse in that root and sacral. So this connects to men and women, but I'm specifically talking about men who are resurrecting this, is that there's digestion, there's things with the gut, and there's things with the root, and also things with the heart, because that's always where it starts. Just like I was talking about in the video for the women, that this attempts to get through the primary splitting, that feeling of being disconnected and lonely, and then it targets the heart, and the heart field starts to weaken, and all of the other energy centers start to weaken from that. And so the process of what I was shown directly, this didn't come from anybody, was to literally go in. So if this resonates with you, then what you need to do is you need to go into your root and into your sacral. And what I see in the collective male root and sacral is it's this is kind of the fallout from clearing that grid, because Arthur's body and sacral, there was a massive return. So that was at the end of January. So we're still seeing, the echoes of these men kind of catching up to this and then clearing this in their own way, maybe not even fully understanding that that's the grid that they're connected to. So there's like a catch up that takes place where, you know, our human takes time to integrate that, the consciousness that was liberated from that grid. So what you do is you're going to go in, and if you are clairvoyant, you know, you'll basically see these dead branches, and it literally looks like a dead tree to me. And it's it's so weird because it's literally like they have taken, and maybe this is just the way that my vision works and it's so metaphorical, but it's literally like they have taken and tried to snap off branches from the actual tree of life, from the 12 tree grid, and then tried to weave that into a form and a structure. But it's so oh, there's a loud car going by. I hate that. I get very distracted by loud noises. So these dead branches are basically the broken pieces from the organic tree that they then tried to braid into a tree, but it's dead. Like there's no life force coming into it. So you'll see all this kind of like debris, and it just literally looks like a pile of sticks. And what it's doing is it's not allowing that this flame to be ignited within, whether it be the womb or the testes, the root and the sacral. And what I'm shown is that there is actually a tree structure that's supposed to be there that hooks into the earth grid, but it's open like this. Like the branches are open, and then in the middle there's a space for the organic void, the organic, you know, you would think of the womb like the void, but that exists in men too. There's that creative life force energy, which is like a natural, and the branches are like the structure that go around that, and then there's this flame that's ignited. So what you'll do is you'll clear out with the elements, because it's in the lower chakras, so we can really work with the elements here. What I was shown was to bring in a flame or a fire to basically burn out all of this dead tree material, all the miasma, all the debris, burn it out, and then take air, blow, you know, the air element through the root, through the chakra, out the back. You return that energy to source to be dismantled, you clear it out, and then you activate the heart field with this plasmic golden emerald energy. You start to pulse that through. There's another component to this, which I was also shown, which is to braid the higher self in. So as that heart field is activating, it's etherizing the blood, it's getting that plasmic energy going through the body, and that's going to start to push the waters, the updated waters, the crystalline waters through the root, flushing that out, recoding it, almost like giving it a, you know, imagine you burn something and then you blow all the smoke out. It needs that moisture back. So we bring the water back in, we clear it, we recode that crystalline structure in the root and the sacral. You call in your higher self. There's a literal, like, the way I see it is like a strand of multidimensional DNA that goes all the way through the core of the higher self. You bring the higher self up into this part of the body, and you braid and twist the DNA all the way through the body. You activate the higher heart, which is this diamond template, this blue energy, and you braid that in with the human heart, with the green and golden field, right? You're pumping that through. You've resurrected the crystalline structure in the root and the sacral. And then you call in the earth element. So you call in the actual tree of life, and you literally allow that to come through your legs. It starts to build a form and a structure which is connected to your organic living tree, your matrix. This is our multi-dimensional vehicle of protection and safety. You braid that in, the tree starts coming to life, and then you start pulsing. You can either do like green energy, golden energy, magenta energy, aquamarine energy. You just start to pulse. There's this life pulse that you'll feel from the earth, and you allow that to start to bring oxygen through the branches of the tree. So there's like this energy that's being braided in from the top, the energy that's coming up from the bottom, which is like creating a purification system for the blood, which is keeping that sexual energy sealed in by that organic tree. And then you ignite that flame. And so really what I'm seeing is we have these flames that we can ignite all the way through the core of the body. So we ignite the flame in the root and the sacral. That's our living life force. The living tree is our protection of that. We light the solar plexus, the power center. We take control of our lives. We ignite the heart field. That's like everything. We ignite the throat. We ignite all the way through, clearing that out, restabilizing. And then, you know, as you're doing this process, something that I was shown today is you can actually clear the physical space that you're in. And so you can literally imagine the way that I saw, you know, I was doing a clearing with someone today and I saw this, I'd never seen this before, but it was like a crystalline circle that was on top of the house itself where we were doing the clearing. And it was connected to this fire in the middle and almost like a funnel or like a tunnel that was like sucking energy up and out of the house. And so you can grid your house. Like I have been shown several different technologies for gridding a house. Maybe I'll share some of those in this video. But, you know, if you're ever doing like heavy energetic clearing, bring in that structure or some type of a structure where you can imagine and sense and feel the energy literally being like sucked up out of the house. And then you can just literally send that back to source to be dismantled. Yeah, it's like a fucking like funnel vacuum that's created by the heat. Okay, so I hope that all of that is helpful so far and that makes sense. I guess I'll share, because I'm feeling the nudge to do so, the other technology that I was shown with the house, or the two other. So, and please leave a comment and let me know how you guys are doing today or how this is landing with you. So one of the first technology I was ever shown is like the spheres. I've worked a lot with the spheres and the orbs, and it's just been a revolving door of a theme. It's something that I think I'm meant to unlock more around within myself in this lifetime. But this golden sphere, and I placed it in the center of my house at the time that I was living in, because I was living with somebody who like literally an entire wall of the house was dedicated to liquor. They had like, I don't even know, like 200 bottles of liquor or whatever. So this is kind of a heavy energy in the house, or kind of just like a lower vibration in the house. And I placed this golden plasmic orb in the center of the house. I didn't really know that it was plasmic at the time, but I just had this intuition to do that. And I actually had a really crazy experience with that piece of technology, because, you know, so much time went by, and I just felt like for me it was an anchor point in the house. It made me feel like I was gridding the space and protected. And I had this crazy experience where I literally jumped time. I took a nap in the middle of the day, and I had a dream that I went downstairs and I saw, like, I was like right next to the orb. And so like the orb was there, and then I was in the kitchen, and I started spinning, and I did 8 rotations spinning. And I didn't know this until later, because I remember Gerald told me that Back to the Future, in that movie, 8 is like the number of time travel. And so I thought that was so interesting. But so I did that, and as I did that, this clairaudience activated, which I had never had happen before in astral space. And I could hear conversations that were happening through the airwaves, like people talking on Facebook Messenger and like sending voice notes to each other as if it was literally in my ear. And then I looked at my phone, and it was like 12:52 or something like that. And then when I woke up, it was like 11:52 or something, like I had gone back in time. But anyways, I think that this technology like aided me somehow in being able to do something cool in the astral, to have that experience. But I also feel like it really protected me. When I moved into this house, I gridded the entire property. So what that means is I would literally go in, I would do a meditation, and I would imagine these crystalline structures like around every single wall of the house, the baseboards, every like every part of the physical structure of the house. And then almost like if you've seen like an AI rendering, and it's not like AI, but where you see all these like little fractal, it's like fractal crystal, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like, I imagine this like fractal crystal energy, like coating the entire house, like a living, kind of like an ADT commercial where they're like ADT, you're protected. And then they show like the electric blue or something that lights up the space. That's kind of what it looks like to me. And then I just push that all the way through, the entire land, the property, the trees. And then another thing that you can do is you can actually tap into the grids that you're already on and see what you can use from those existing grids that are there from indigenous people, or from, if you tap in, there's already existing structures. Now, some of those things might be things you might have to clear out of the space. But like I'm on Cherokee land. And so this is, okay. I was not expecting to share all this today, but I'm going to just share one more thing. So there is a tree, probably like a quarter of a mile up the road from my house. And the first time that I saw this tree, it's not like it's a particularly spectacular tree. I mean, I think it is, but it doesn't, let's say, it doesn't look much different than any of the other trees. But the first time that I saw it, I was just like so emotional and so taken back. I felt like this was another aspect of myself, another embodiment of myself here. Like the recognition that I had for this. And it's so strange because obviously at a higher level, we are connected to everything. And so it's like, but we also do have, that's also very real. And I remember after that happened, I kind of like blew it off. And after that happened, I'm getting to the point here because this is connected to how we can utilize the grids that we're already on, because I was given medicine by this particular tree. But yeah, so I kind of just blew it off. And then I heard somebody say, who was kind of has their filters blown. They're like a medium, a psychic, and a seer. And they said that they were sitting in a park, and they saw this woman pass by this tree, and this tree was just energetically like reaching out for this woman in deep recognition. And the woman did not realize what was happening and just kind of walked right past the tree. And she said it was like one of the saddest things I've ever seen, right? Because it's not like that tree can just pull its roots out of the ground and go after her in the street. And so I was like, oh my God, that is exactly how I feel like I recognized it though. And I feel like that is another aspect of myself. So as cuckoo bananas as that sounds, that tree had a lot of wisdom for me. So every time I go for a walk down this street, I always stop at this tree. I'm always so, so excited. The tree is so excited to see me. There's such a deep connection. And when I was listening, I took one of the little walnuts that had fallen off of it so I could take a piece of it with me. But I was listening, and it's like so funny. I have this like inside joke with this tree because on this entire side of the city that I live in, or this little part of town I live in, where that tree is positioned, I'm telling you, it has the best view ever. Like there's a little cabin and these trees that it's like, of course this would be your view for the next 100 years or however long you're going to be here. But so I go up to the tree. Oh no, there we go. I got my Instagram timer. Okay. So what I heard was, because I was saying, oh, I should probably visit you more often. You know, I'm sorry that it's only every couple of weeks. And the tree was like, no, you can literally tap into me from your house. Like you can use me as an anchor for these grids, and I will literally help you. You don't even have to be here. Like, duh, don't you know, like all these root systems are connected and all the elements are connected. And so literally the house that you're in, land you're on, like I was like, oh. So, you know, whether it's a particular tree or just knowing more about the land or listening to the land, there is an organic pulse, no matter where you are in the globe, that you can tap into, and you can use that to fortify your own house, your spiritual house, your physical house. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share today. I wanted to share about Arthur's, the kind of fallout. Well, it's not really fallout, actually. It's the men reclaiming this energy for themselves, and just what's returning after a lot of Arthur's energy was returned to his sacral. And what I saw about how to clear that out of the root and the sacral, and clear out those nests, and how to rehabilitate that. And that's just one thing. Do I want to add this at the end? There's something that I'm thinking about. Okay, it feels related enough. So, in the realm of talking about clearing houses and clearing negative energy or whatever, I want to make it really clear that we can clear energy all day long, but what is the root? That's really all I care about. I care about the root. So that's always what I'm asking. And I think that's so important to see that there's a hook in us somewhere where we're still buying into that powerlessness, where we are still giving away our authority to anything as if it has the ability to even have any power over us. And I just know that there's a reason why we are interacting with these forces and these beings, because there's some form of a symbiotic relationship that happens. One of the number one reasons why we might have a dark energy or an entity or something like that in our space or in our energy field is because there's a collapse within us somewhere. There's a place where we feel disconnected, where we feel lonely, and that energy comes in, and it's almost like we're getting kind of a breadcrumb. We're kind of getting a connection, even if it's a narcissistic one, or even if it's one where we're being parasited off of. And so that's our work, is to really come back to our joy, to come back to our self-worth, and to reconnect to those parts of us so that there isn't a space for that to be there. Because when our love is there and we bring our love to meet that, we bring the wisdom of ourselves and our own love to meet our own vulnerability and to meet those parts of us that are in pain, we become impenetrable. We become so fortified that it's like, we're good. I got me. I'm holding those parts of myself. There's no room for anything else to be there, or really no need, we'll say. So I just want to add at the end. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and be well.